Have you ever found a piece of advice online, tried it in real life, and just had it blow up in your face? Well, today we're going to dive into a story that perfectly captures that moment, that thin line between so-called guru wisdom and, total domestic disaster. So it all started with this little nugget of wisdom right here. Our guy Arjun was deep diving a series called Dark Psychology for Men, and this one line, man, it just clicked for him. You know the type of advice, right? It sounds so good because it promises you control. It's like a relationship hack. Just care less, don't react, be all mysterious, and bam, you get respect. Sounds pretty deep, doesn't it?
Okay, so you're Arjun. You've just been handed this life-altering piece of internet truth. You've basically just graduated from the University of YouTube comments. What do? How do you take this powerful new knowledge and, apply it to your actual life?
That's what he does. To himself, of course. He cracks his knuckles, his mind is made up, and he decides he's going to put this whole detachment theory to the ultimate test. Right there in his own home. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
And with that, the challenge is officially on. This is where our story really kicks off, as Arjun begins his super ambitious and, as we are about to see, incredibly ill-fated experiment in being emotionally unavailable.
So, how is he going to pull this off? Well, Arjun sets up a couple of key tests for his newfound philosophy. Two big moments to show off his superior, super detached presence. Let's just call them his experiments in Zen.
All right, first up, the dinner experiment. His wife, Maya, asks a simple question. Hey, are you going to eat? Arjun's response? Absolute silence. He's practicing detachment, see? So, what does she do? She just says, perfect, I'll practice eating alone. Arjun stays in his Zen-like state, staring at a wall, but then that delicious smell of biryani starts wafting through the air.
And this right here is the first crack in his whole Zen master facade. Arjun's stomach lets out this huge, embarrassing growl, completely betraying his cool exterior. And without even looking up from her plate, Maya delivers this absolute zinger. Round one? Yeah, that's a clear loss for Arjun.
But you gotta hand it to him. He doesn't give up. The very next morning, he sees another chance to prove his point. The kitchen tap is leaking. When Maya points it out, he just calmly tells her to detach from the outcome. He's doubling down on this whole thing. But what he doesn't realize is that Maya, well, she's about to unleash a strategy of her own. And this is where it gets absolutely brilliant. Look at this countermove from Maya. She doesn't argue, she doesn't get upset, she just agrees to detach by walking over and switching off the Wi-Fi. It is a masterclass in strategic thinking.
And that single move, detaching the internet, is what sends Arjun's entire Zen experiment spiraling. It is the trigger for the climax of our story, the full-blown domestic meltdown.
You can literally watch his rapid decline on this timeline. Hour 1, he's pacing around trying to keep his cool. By hour 2, that no Wi-Fi anxiety is definitely kicking in. And by hour 3, with no food, no internet, and for sure no inner peace, he just completely snaps.
And there it is, the glorious, full-throated confession. He finally cracks, yelling out his complete and total attachment to all the things he was trying so hard to detach from. At this point, it's safe to say the theory has officially been crushed by reality.
So how do they fix this? Well, Maya's response is so simple and practical, it just brings everything right back down to earth. She offers this beautiful, straightforward truce. You handle the real-world problem, the leaky tap, and I'll take care of you with some nice chai.
So, okay, beyond the fact that this is a really funny story about Arjun's failure, what's the actual lesson here? This isn't just about a silly argument. It's really about that huge gap between abstract advice you find online and, actual life.
Later that evening, Arjun sums up his whole day of enlightenment in this perfectly short text to his best friend. He tried the fancy theory, but his wife hit back with a very practical and way more powerful reality check. And his friend's reply just says it all, doesn't it? In the big match between abstract internet guru wisdom and the real dynamics of a relationship, yeah, the internet got knocked out in the first round. And this is Arjun's final profound takeaway. He boils his entire hard-won lesson down to something we can all understand. Detachment is a really nice idea until it gets between you and the things you actually need and love, like, food. And really, that brings us to the core lesson here. Maybe real partnership isn't about pretending you're in some state of emotional distance. Maybe it's about actually being present, rolling up your sleeves and fixing life's little leaks together.
And that kind of leaves us with a big question for you.
We've all been there, right? Tempted by some life hack or a bit of dark psychology from the internet. So I gotta ask, what's the most memorable piece of advice you've ever tried to bring into your own life, and how'd that turn out for you?